What is going on, YouTube? Well, it's becoming more and more talked about now. One of the big time YouTubers, a retro gamer and everything on here, RPG lover like myself, HappyConsoleGamer released a video talking about video game addiction. And in this video, if you guys check the thumbnail, I'll make sure to leave a link to his video in the description below. If you do not know who HappyConsoleGamer is, he is an amazing video content creator here on YouTube, very into RPGs and stuff like that, very laid back and stuff like that recently, and I love his style and I love his videos. But his latest title, just simply entitled My Video Game Obsession, talks about how obsessed he's been with collecting the PC Engine games for the last 30 years or so. And if you check out the thumbnail, if you check out his video, he literally has stacks like up to here, like 6 of them. I don't know if he can't remember exactly how many he says he has, but it's insane, guys. And I love this video because, one, it starts talking about what we've all been talking about for the last few weeks, and that's how people become obsessed, they become addicted to collecting. And he goes on to talk about that in his video, and even talks about how it all started and what kind of drives him to do it and everything. And I mean, big shout out to him for, talking about this, because like I said, this is kind of the dark side of YouTube. This is kind of the dark side of collecting. This is, nobody likes to admit sometimes when they're obsessed with something. Specifically, things that are kind of, that other people would look at and think they're crazy. So, somebody that's been a past collector that loves video games, that loves retro gaming and stuff like that, and makes content on YouTube, seeing what he has doesn't really, cause me to, what do I want to say? I don't look second, and I don't judge too much because I've been there, I've done that. I haven't had as much as he has, but I know how that goes. But any normal person sees this, specifically that a lot of his PC Engine games are all Japanese ones, they would think this man is nuts. And a lot of times, that's what people think about when they look at people that are addicted to stuff. So, you talk about, I'm not saying that, this is going on the same scale, but when somebody's addicted to heroin or something like that, they lose their house, they lose their job, they lose their cars, they lose their family and stuff like that. People look at them and go, why the hell did they, why are you addicted to that? Like, why is it that way? Why are you doing that? You lost everything. Why do you keep going? And it's stuff with mental disorders, and it's the chemical reaction in the brain and everything. Now, granted, this is not, what he's doing is not a span of a couple weeks, or as a lot of collectors that have recently been popping up have only been collecting for 1 years, and they insanely buy collections like this and have this much games. Like, he admitted he'd been doing this for 30 years or so, and he was just obsessed with these. He talks about how he had a magazine, I believe it was GamePro back in the day, and talks about, like, I loved Electronic Gaming Monthly, which he also said he loved. But he saw the ad for a Japanese ad for the Mega Drive and also for the PC Engine, and it just blew his mind. So he went on to talk about how this made him become obsessed with this, because at the time, cartridges were big and bulky and, fit into there, and these were just like little carts that just slide into the system, and it was just amazing to him. And a lot of what our sessions, our addictions and stuff, if we really think about it, we can trace back to how it started. So I talk about how mine, just collecting video games in general, was when I was a kid, I didn't have much games. I either had to borrow them, I had to rent them, but we didn't have a ton of money growing up because of what my parents, my dad's an alcoholic. He's a recovering alcoholic now. But at the time, he cared more about partying and booze and stuff like that. So, and he also was addicted to collecting baseball cards and sports cards. So he spent a lot of his money on that. So, and my mom, on the other hand, was just kind of later on became somewhat of an alcoholic and stuff like that. But we're just push that aside. But just growing up, I didn't have much games. And so when I became an adult, and I remembered about, being young and being so jealous of my friends and stuff, because they would literally have stacks of games and stuff like that. And growing into an adult and having my own money, I wanted to change that. So one of my obsessions was I wanted to start buying games from my youth that I couldn't get then, but I could get now because obviously I'm an adult, I have fun money, I can do that stuff. So that spiraled out of control to the point where I was just buying any game in sight, kind of trying to heal my inner child, I would say. And, you know, it at one point it became out of control. Now, obviously, I watched most of his video and he talks in here. I don't think he has obviously any plans of selling this stuff. This is his pet project. This is, like he said, 30 years in the making. Mine, on the other hand, was I didn't have real rhyme and reason behind what I was collecting. At one point, I was just buying original Xbox games because I liked the way the cases look. And 90% of those games I never even played. I played a lot of Xbox games. Like, I loved games like Jade Empire, Halo, Fable, and stuff like that. But I was getting, like, you know, Amped 2, NFL Fever, whatever, and then just games like I never even played, like the 50 Cent game, and I thought I was going to play them at some point, but I wasn't really going to after I thought about it. So when I really sat down, thought about why I was doing this stuff, and, you know, focused in on changing everything up, it was just insanely liberating to get rid of all this. Now, like I said, he has no plans on obviously selling all this stuff. This is him. This is part of him. And that's why a lot of what you see behind me now and what's off of my shelf over here is more of a part of me personally as a collection than anything. I have nostalgia for what I have. I have personal connections to what I have. I don't have to just buy anymore. I can get games that I want to actually play, and I don't have to become obsessed with getting more and more games. So I just saw this video pop up in my feed, and I think he plans on doing an actual series on this, talking about each one of his collections and maybe how it started and why he's become obsessed with it. But it was just really cool to see this because like I said, I like his style. He's always been more real with you, and Johnny just is really awesome. He just, like I said, so laid back, and he's not putting on a fake personality, a fake cheery attitude, a fake little, like, oh, you know, it's kind of more real, and that's what I like to, you know, and that's like how my recent videos have been, is just raw, honest, and talking to you guys about stuff. So I went on to talk, you know, in the past about why I collected, and, you know, and it just healed the inner child. It made me feel better, but it honestly it just filled a void, and it made me happy for a little while, and then after so long I would just go back to the same old guys. And so, you know, when I watched RGT85 talk about getting rid of his collection, it kind of influenced me to do the same, and I've never been happier. There was times in the beginning where I thought I was going to regret this, and I was really nervous about that. But after, you know, selling most of the games, having, you know, I think it was like $300 to $400 credit at my local game store now, so when new games come out, I can go get them. Like, I'm really excited for Spider-Man 2, Baldur's Gate 3, games that I want to play. I have the funds to do so, and I don't have to worry about, you know, dipping into savings or spending a little bit more of my check on, you know, a game. I have the resources for it, and I love that more than, you know, trying to explain to my wife why I need this game and stuff like that. So, like I said, just a big shout out to HappyConsoleGamer for talking about stuff like this, and bringing this stuff to light. I'm really interested in if he keeps doing this as a series to keep watching it, and it's just really cool because, you know, for the past few weeks, the past few months, I've been talking about video game addiction. I've been talking about just the way this stuff is, and to see somebody, you know, with 300,000 plus subscribers talking about it, and not doing it just to create content to get views, to actually be real and talk about the stuff, it's really cool. And I, you know, like I said, big shout out to him. I hope someday maybe he will see this video, but if he doesn't, it's all right. But I just want to say thank you, Johnny, for talking about this stuff. And, you know, like with all my other videos, if you guys have some comments that you want to let below, go ahead. If you have problems with addiction yourself, whether it be video games, anything like that, and you need somebody to talk to, reach out in the comments below, or you can DM me on Instagram. You know, we could talk about whatever's bothering you. The problems with addiction is nobody likes to talk about it, and it's one of those things you have to talk about because it's just, that's the way it is, guys. You can't hide from it forever, and the more you hide from it, the more you'll isolate, and then in the end, that's worse than addiction itself. So if you think you're dealing with it and you need to reach out, this channel supports mental health, and a lot of my subscribers will agree with that. We're not out here pointing fingers. We're not out here to talk trash to you for your problems, and if they are, then they will get removed, because we're trying to positively keep positivity going, guys. So with that being said, comment below what you guys think about Happy Console Gamer. Do you think, like, just what do you guys think about this? Do you guys follow his channel? If not, make sure you go check him out. Like I said, I love his style. I love everything. And in fact, my hair kind of unintentionally looks like his in this recent video. I've been growing in the mullet, as you guys can see. Hopefully here pretty soon with the mustache and the pit vipers, we're going to full on 80s this. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. As always, stay retro, and we will see you in the next video. Peace out.